All right?
Still
All
working.
right. Wow, thank you. I'm not going to follow music with, I couldn't follow that anyway, but I'm here to do comedy. Well, we'll see. I actually was out last night. I was doing something different on stage last night. Speaking of music, I went to karaoke for the first time ever, but it didn't go well because I'm dyslexic. So as I'm trying to sing the lyrics as they're coming across the monitor, nothing came out right. For instance, Dolly Parton had switched to another shift. She's now working 5 to 9. Frank Sinatra was doing it somebody else's way. Billy Joel started moving all his stuff back in. Apparently Bruce Springsteen was born in an SUV. And for some reason, all the Village people wanted to stay at Macy's. But, no, I'm not, actually, I wanted to try out a couple of things. This is a church group.
Well, positive.
Yeah, and I've had some stand-up that has a religious theme, and it's all in good humor, and one of my favorite quotes is by supposedly Aristotle. I'm probably paraphrasing a little bit. Was God is a comedian playing to an audience that's afraid to laugh. Some people get too serious, So I try to do something like that. Like like a lot of people like to give their kids biblical names. Like Jacob, Isaac, Abraham. And my parents at one point thought that was a good idea. They liked that, so they named my younger brother God. I'll tell you, it's really tough growing up with a sibling who thinks he knows everything. And my mother, for the love of God, she always treated him special. She never let him do anything on Sundays, said he needed his rest. Yeah, he was definitely her favorite. As far as she was concerned, he could do no wrong. As a matter of fact, if he broke something in the house, I'd get blamed for it. And I'd say, hey, I'm not responsible for an act of God. And of course, I couldn't touch any of his stuff when we were kids. God forbid. If I did, my mom would yell at me. Render unto God what is God's. Yeah, I know, there's a little groaner in there once. But even now, as adults, we still have differences of opinion. Sometimes, we argue and I use language I shouldn't. Yeah, I swear to God I did. Yeah, but I have to confess, he's very forgiving. I thank God for that. And, but he's always been a hard worker, always chasing the almighty dollar. He's got more money than, I don't know who. Somebody got that. Very smart guy. He always carries a tablet around with him so he can get his thoughts down on it. Prefers the Galaxy. Hates the Apple. But he's married to a very nice woman. It was a match made in heaven. And a few years after they were married, they had a baby, and they thought that biblical name idea was good too. I didn't think so. Couldn't talk them out of it. When they told me what they named their kid, I said, "Oh, Jesus Christ, you got to be kidding me!" All right, I'll try it. I'm going to try another. God. Somebody told me once that when your job stops being fun, it's time to retire. And obviously a retired friend of mine. And I got thinking one day, I said, gee, I'm surprised, we all should be, at this point that God hasn't retired. Because his work has got to be so frustrating for him. I mean, we haven't gotten better in thousands of years, right? I mean, I'm sure at this point he's willing to give us a little wiggle room on a commandment or two. But we're not even trying, And it's good that he hasn't washed his hands of it. But if he did retire, he could just relax, hang out with his old friends, maybe get together for a coffee clutch every week at Starbucks with Muhammad and Buddha, tell anecdotes about the good old days. Remember that thing I did with the Red Sea? Oh, the looks on the Egyptians' faces. Oh, myself, it was hilarious. Oh. Of course, he'd always thought his son would take more of an interest in the business. So he always thought Jesus might have made a second coming by now and taken over more responsibilities. Jesus, hey, it's me. Look, I need you to go back on the road. Yes, that place again. It's still a mess down there. If they don't wise up pretty soon, I may have to hit them with another big flood. I melt the polar ice caps every once in a while, just so they'll get to hand. All right? But don't worry, I think it'll help a lot if you go down there and do some PR work. Now, don't worry about it. You've been a superstar down there for quite some time. Your book is still selling big. Are you kidding? They love you in Rome now. So get a decent haircut, some clean clothes, and try and stay out of trouble this time. You get arrested again, I'm not bailing you out again. Well, let's see, if God retired, he'd have time to pursue activities he hasn't had time for, like maybe a second coat on the painted desert.
Give us a second.
Fix all the time. I'm on a 2-second delay. You could fix all the typos in the Ten Commandments. Maybe have another shot at the platypus. I'm sure God would get a lot of offers to star in his own reality show. Maybe something like Fear of God Factor, Holy Ghost Hunters, The Amazing Grace, or maybe Extreme Makeover Armageddon Edition. Well, I think, maybe God might want to toy around with doing stand-up comedy. Then he'd really know what hell was like. So I said to Lot, who was that lady I saw you with last night? He said, that was no lady, that was my pillar of salt. Is this thing on? Is this an audience for the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel? I'm having a worse day than Job up here. Well, thank you, everybody. My name is God, and I'll be appearing, well, pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to thank you. Thank you. I'm very pleased that you got some good laughs out of that. I say religious humor sometimes to atheists, and they take offense. So I'm never sure who my audience is. I'm going to do one quick bit, if I may. It's concerning the school system, kindergarten school starting up. And ever since they adopted the Common Core standards, there's been a lot of controversy about curriculum in the school, even as young as kindergarten, because educational expectations have risen, there's more emphasis on testing. Nowadays, I don't remember any of that academic pressure when I was that age, but apparently 5-year-olds are coming home from school all burned out from a hectic, brutal day in that corporate rat race called kindergarten. You can pull off 5-year-old. Mom, oh, gee whiz, Mom, what a day I've had in school. Oh, I just want to get into my Dr. Denton's, watch SpongeBob, get immersed in somebody else's problems for a while. The school bus ride was slow, nothing but stop and go traffic from railroad crossing to railroad crossing. I tried to take the time to read, but it was too noisy because everyone else had pulled out their leapfrogs and see-and-says. And when the bus stopped at Stan's house, his mom has to come out and start chatting it up with the bus driver again. Tell me something's not going on there. So my day starts with Mrs. Chuzzlewit jumping all over me because I'm late for school, like I got control over the transit system. And no one had bothered to make any cocoa, so I had to do it as usual. And you know how I am in the morning. Don't even talk to me till I've had my hot chocolate. Of course, that didn't stop Velma from coming over and giving me all the details of her girls' night out at Chuck E. Cheese. And the teacher keeps dragging us into these group activity meetings all the time, which just bore the HE double hockey sticks out of me. Like today, for instance. She calls us in for a brainstorming session on the alphabet. I don't have time for that. I got a stack of papers this high on my activity table that need to be cut up into circles so I can glue them together and make a caterpillar. And they want that project done by Friday. Couldn't work on my penmanship. Pencil sharpener kept jamming, so everyone was queued up at that all day. Oh, and check this out. The teacher read Dr. Seuss's Hop on Pop 3rd time this week. I made the mistake of voicing my opinion. I said, I do not like that book she chose. I do not like that kind of prose. I do not like it in a school. I do not like it as a rule. I do not like this Hop on Pop. Someone make her stop. So the teacher gives me a timeout. Same person who said I lacked self-expression on my last evaluation. And speaking of which, I got another evaluation coming up next week, which I know is going to stink. Because my finger painting has been lousy lately, and I just haven't had the time to be imaginative. And as far as playing well with others, forget about it. As it is, half of those backstabbers are after my job as snack helper. I didn't even have lunch today. Somebody took a bologna sandwich that I brought in. I wrote my name very clearly on the bag, but apparently somebody can't read. Oh, and guess what, Bobby? Bobby peed his pants again today. Oh, right on schedule. And right on the playmat. So they had to call the janitor to come in, the custodian, God forbid. I'm politically incorrect in the classroom. I mean, what do I know? I'm just a kindergarten student. Academic learning analyst. Yeah, big deal. Trust me, that title doesn't come with any bigger allowance. Then we had that ridiculous nap time again today. Nap time, really? Since when is being unconscious an important part of the learning curriculum? I don't know how we're going to keep up academically with the Japanese with that attitude. They don't sleep. They were up attacking Pearl Harbor at 7 in the morning, and that was on a Sunday. Yeah.
Everyone was at church.
I'm at the end of my jump rope. I haven't had a vacation in 3 weeks. I've been so tired lately, I'm starting to look like I'm 7. And trust me, this time next year, I bet I'm bringing work home at night. Thanks a lot.